I'm Dwayne,
I'm Tom.
and this is
Our recovery life.
today's topic is,
Barriers in recovery
and how we got that is.
from Keith and over at Sober and Serious.
So thank you to Keith. Shout out to him and all you guys at Sober and Serious. Barriers in recovery.
What is that?
For me, it's anything that gets in your way of recovery, whether it be mental or physical. Anything come to mind for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Kids. That was my big one. When my wife and I got into recovery and we came in together, we were already in a relationship. So we got clean together and we were going to get married, and then we got pregnant. And so once we added, one kid, then we would just bring him with us.
Yeah,
Wherever we went, fellowship meetings, whatever. And then came along number 2. And so, there was one for each of us, and
we can do this.
We could make it work. Then along came number 3, and simultaneously with number 3, within a month or two of that baby, we got custody of my wife's 8-year-old, who's 13 now.
Now you're outnumbered.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden we went from 2 to 4, and and the little kids were like 1, 3, 5, and we were outnumbered. We go to the meeting, we spend the whole time chasing kids, worrying
in parent
about
mode.
not
instead
of recovery mode, and we would just miss the whole meeting. And maybe it didn't affect the people around me, but inside my head it was like a 3-ring circus I had going on, and like nobody can listen or do anything because my kids are. So that made us shy away from the meetings.
I see a lot of parents struggle with that as far as are my kids interrupting recovery?
Right.
And man, I just want to give a shout out to all the parents that bring the kids, that just keep bringing them. Just keep bringing them to the meetings.
Right.
If you're not okay, you can't be a good parent. You can't do all the rest of the stuff. You need to be there. And everyone, and for the people that aren't okay with it, then too bad.
Right. Well, and it's never as bad as you think it is.
No.
So.
And a little bit of recovery is better than no recovery.
Right. I didn't see it that way, though.
No.
Now that I'm out the other side, boy, I still have trouble seeing it that way with all those guys running around. But now, the oldest one can kind of take care of the youngest one, and the middle two, they can take care of themselves. So we actually get some meetings in about
recovery time.
Yeah, and we
Nice.
reevaluated our recovery here 6, 8, 10 months ago, and we've been going to more meetings. Actually picked up some step work. And fellowship. So it's been good.
So refocused.
Yeah. And then doing, our videos and
Yeah.
and all this stuff helps me a lot too.
Definitely.
So so I'm kind of over my biggest barrier.
Okay.
What is barriers? What do you
I
battle?
would say for me, early in recovery, one of my biggest barriers was relationships. I'd been in for a while, and I got out and was ready to jump into any relationship I could, my sponsor. And right before that, I was just on fire for recovery because, it just had given me so much.
Right.
And that fire that I'm talking about, that just, recovery's first. Like it's at the top of my, my HP recovery, like my pyramid was okay. And then I would jump into a relationship and just literally turn my back on recovery. And my sponsor's like, "What's I haven't seen your I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I just all my all the pyramid got
mixed around."
Oh, definitely. And then things would start crumbling. My attitude, it's always starts with attitude.
Mine too.
And negativity, and then just all of this. People at work would start sucking more. And so I did that. That was kind of my pattern for a while. And finally, the longer I had with my sponsor, the more he just kept saying, and saying it in a loving, caring way. Whenever you get into these relationships, This is your pattern. You get out of the relationship, and then you're all about recovery.
Right back at it.
We see you do well. We see you soar. Your work, everything around you does well whenever you put that back. As soon as you get back into recovery, it happens. And he even said, sometimes when you're here, you're not here. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's just like, you're in, you're out. You're like, you're not. So that was a big one for me. And this last one, when I met my fiance, he brought me aside and said, all right, what are we going to do to stop this, to not let this happen this time? And I was like, so like, whoa, why are you coming at me like this?
Yeah, right.
And he stuck around. I've been with him since I've been out, and so this time it's been a lot of focus with the fiance coming in the picture. What can I do to keep my recovery up here and keep that barrier from happening? Because without recovery, everything else goes to the wayside, and it's really, really helped me out. Other barriers, and I've seen other people jump into relationships, and it happens a lot.
Yeah, I don't think you're the pioneer on that.
Because I get it, but so that's a big barrier, and also another barrier I see is like moving. I watched
location.
Yeah. Like when I first got in, I had a lot of time off, different work. I was in a different position, so I had time to go in the cities, and I created this network and all these guys that I would go bowling. We'd do all this stuff, and then circumstances happened. My hours changed. I had to stay home closer to Big Lake, and man, it's crazy that once I missed that, how big fellowship is. You never know how huge fellowship is until you take it out of the pie. You have your meeting,
right.
You have your fellowship, you have your spirituality, that whole pie that I'm talking about. Once I took that piece out, it was tough for me, and
it makes a big difference.
And some people just location moving. Like my fiance, she moved from, to in with me in Big Lake, and that was tough. I watched the struggle happen, because once you get your foundation and you move it, and you don't plug back in that first week, then
and it feels like you're starting over, for one.
Yeah.
And number two, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of change.
Love it.
Yeah, no
I
change.
will Olay change so fast, and with her it was change everything: job, house, like just location, friends, like everything. Granted, she still has those friends, but watching that happen, man, was really, it just, I'm full of advice because I didn't have to move. Anything. So I'm like, just do this, just but I remember times for me, just little changes at work, man, they would try to change something. Whoa. So, I think that's a huge barrier, change with us in general. Can you think of anything else as far as barriers that have you've seen or that have come up with you?
The kid thing was just so big that it kind of overshadows anything else. Seems just like not as big a challenge.
So how about you guys? What are some things that you guys have barriers that you've had in recovery? You guys go ahead on the YouTube. You can scroll down and hit comment. We're really thankful for you guys on the
and we do read them. And we do reply.
Yeah, our Recovery Life group, that's really took off. The Bring a Friend and everything like that. We really appreciate all that. Yeah, the
Bring a Friend has been huge.
And
really good turnout.
And this here is part of the refocusing for both of us as far as our recovery, and just, we're really thankful for you, for everyone.
Yeah.
And so comment, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get the YouTube page up there. Subscribe. So if you guys could do that, that'd be great. And on that note, fight the good fight.
Keep it clean.